Here's some information about the phases. We're going through 6 different phases. These phases are numbered 0 through 5. Let's go to phase 0 right now. Phase 0 will provide the foundation necessities to begin the project. This is a total of $10,000 US. And what it's for is to create the current fundraiser. It's currently in progress, by the way, and we need to do these 3 things in order to get the project started. We need to relocate the Everybody Community Project from Thailand, where it is currently, to Zero, Uganda, and rent a location there that will be a apartment, like a home office. The second part will provide the first quarter, the first 3 months funds for the soft-hearted Uganda staff, operations, and basic goals implementation. And the third part will provide the first quarter funds for the Everybody Community staff and operations and their goals implementation. So this will handle basically the administrative overhead to get the project started and established in Zero, Uganda, and continue for the first quarter. This will recur again beginning on the second quarter, 3 months later. Moving on to phase 1. Phase 1 of the project will require $15,000, and this will provide the community center. We're going to build a community center on rented land, and this will include the building and its infrastructure and the related services. Now, this will not be able to begin until phase 0 is complete, so we'll need to raise our funds for phase 0 before we move on to phase 1. As soon as we have phase 0 done, we'll start the fundraiser for phase 1 so that we can begin the work on building these facilities. This is the core central facilities for the community. We'll need to rent land suitable for the facilities. We'll need to construct or acquire modest sports facilities. We plan on a small basketball court. We plan on maybe some ping pong games and some other simple games. We'll create a clean and free water source for the community by digging a well and having that well driven by a solar powered pump so people can get water for the community 24/7. So this can be a place where people can get free and clean water. It will have a filtration system. We'll be able to create the Neighbors in Need Center with basic first aid so that people that are really in trouble, we can show that online so that people can help them out and contribute. People know what's going on with those that are in the desperate situation, very desperate situation in the community. That's a very acute kind of an emergency. We'll also, with the community center, provide a meeting hall and life skills classes so people in the community can meet whenever they need to talk about something, and we'll also handle anything that comes up in the community that we need to talk about there. And we'll also provide life skills classes that have to do with hygiene, health, getting a job, nutrition, dealing with employers, or dealing with anything that requires a life skills. Maybe there will be remedial courses on math so people can study math if they need to, or to improve their language skills, things like this. There will also be a security infrastructure as part of the community center that includes just some cameras and a little bit of surveillance hardware, and maybe a little bit of services just for people to keep watch and make sure that the community center is always safe. We want it to be a safe place to go to all the time. Moving on to phase 2. Phase 2 is a significant one. It's agriculture and Feed the Hungry project. The total amount required is $15,000. And of course, work will need to begin after the fundraising is done and after phase 1 is successfully complete. During this phase, we will build a chicken farm. This chicken farm will feed the children at the orphanage, help to feed the children at the orphanage, and help others to earn money. And we can also sell the chickens or sell the eggs to other people there in order to create some income. We'll also build a greenhouse, and we'll be working on the greenhouse to find the best vegetables to grow for that climate and for that area, what's in demand. So it could be a money-making operation, but it could also be used to feed the students in the school or feed the orphans in the orphanage. We're also looking at the possibility of having goats or other livestock there, whatever makes sense, whatever is practical. So this will also be kind of an experiment about what's going to be the most practical thing to do in this community, in this climate, at this time, and for the members of the community center to pitch in, help out, and also receive something in return for that. And then finally, we'll provide a simple kitchen at the community center to feed members and to sell to others. So maybe we'll make some of the local foods at our small kitchen. We'll have maybe kind of a small diner or a small cafe where people can come and relax and learn about the community or talk, socialize with each other, and then also they could order a meal. And depending upon if they're working with the community and volunteering their time and energy, which there will be a record of that, a computerized record, then they can do that for free. And if people don't want to do that or haven't done that, then they can also pay for some foods or beverages at a low, reasonable price. Okay, phase three. Phase three is about sanitation, communications, and a jobs system. The total cost is $12,000. Of course, the status, the work will begin after phase two is complete and after the fundraiser is well underway for phase three. The first step we'll do is create a sanitation team from the local volunteers, local community, and provide partial funds for sanitizing and improving toilets. So there we have 2,000 members that will be part of this community center, and maybe there are about 500 toilets among them. Some of them are in horrible condition, and so we want to help with sanitation, and so we have a project where people can volunteer, and we can also help them to some degree with some funds, but this will be a cooperative thing. The second thing we'll do is we'll provide free and unlimited Wi-Fi at the community center, and we'll also provide some devices like some desktop computers, some laptop computers, some tablet computers, and some smartphones that people can use at the location, or maybe some people will be able to volunteer enough to the degree where we will give them, in exchange for their contribution, we'll give them one of these items so that they can take it home, use it at home. But we will provide unlimited Wi-Fi there, so people will be able to come and use Wi-Fi at the community center at no charge, so that people can stay more connected, communicate with each other, communicate with employers, communicate with customers, communicate with friends, because the communication hub is extremely important for people to have a viable life. And then finally provide job training, job search, and job leads. So the community center will be upgraded so that it will have a system where people can search for jobs, people can meet employers there, employers can go there and talk with people that may be qualified and give a little bit of information and answer questions and look for qualified candidates. So one of the key functions of the community center is to provide a way for people to get job training, learn how to do a job, or meet someone there who can help them with the job training. Not all job training will occur at the community center, just some. It will also help people to find jobs and interact with employers and get information about that. And people can also, maybe they'll end up getting a job through the help of the community center, because this is such a significant part of life, being able to be productive and also earn a living. Okay, phase four, this is about emergency projects. So now your community center is mature enough through several months, and it's ready to also provide some emergency help to some local residents. This is a total cost of $12,000. Of course, this work will begin after Phase 3 is complete and after the funding for Phase 4 is well underway. So what this emergency project will do, it'll provide life necessities for the orphans that haven't been really haven't had a stable way to do that. And Phase 4 sets up a stable way so that the orphanage can get constant help from the community center. The community center will be a place where income is generated through its projects to always help the orphans. Also, what will happen is we'll be educating the poor children who can't afford school tuition, and also educating the orphans just with the basics, reading, writing, arithmetic, things like that, which they're already doing. And funds are very scarce. So we hope the community center will be built up to a certain level that it will also be able to help out paying the staff at the school and help to feed the kids. Implementing an online directory project that will provide income through selling advertising. So this is an online directory that includes so many levels of connecting people. For example, it's not only advertising. If you have a restaurant, you can you can purchase an ad and pay a little bit every month, and then you'll have your menu there, and you'll have your promotions and specials and things like that, so that all your customers can find you and can know that you're open and that you're what food you have available at your restaurant. But it's also for connecting groups. So if there's a group of people that like to play basketball, they want to meet every Saturday at 6 o'clock at the community center, they can connect with each other. They can communicate through this platform. Also, other organizations that are providing services for the community all could be listed there. If you want to sell something, maybe you have a motorcycle that's used you want to sell, this is a place, this is a platform for that. So this online directory is a significant way to connect people on all different levels. And also finally, the part of the emergency projects is to provide basic transport to and from the community center for the disabled. Some people, even though we've located the community center very close to town, very close to the people that are members, maybe some people are disabled and they'll have trouble getting there. So we'll provide some basic transportation for that purpose. Okay, finally Phase 5. Phase 5, when the community center and its systems has reached a level of stability and the community center is working and the community center is really benefiting the community. It will have been on rented land for months and months. And this is not a stable thing because sometimes the landowner needs to make a change. Maybe they need that land. They want to put a farm there, or maybe they want to sell it and put a buildings on there or something like that. And so all of our work, having established the community center for so many months, we'll be in a panic and we'll need funds in order to buy some land. So we want to think about this ahead of time so that once we really reach stability and everything's working very smoothly, we would like to raise money. About $20,000 is what it will take to buy a piece of land nearby that will be stable, that we won't have to pay monthly rent, and we also will be able to do everything on that community, everything for the community, everything on that land in a stable way, and know that we control the ownership to the land. So we're going to relocate all the services and facilities to the own land. The community center that we build on rented land, we'll be able to move it. Everything that we create, except for the well, the water well, we'll be able to move. We'll leave the water well at the old location and let those people use that as they desire. But we're going to move everything that we have, including the greenhouse, the chicken farm, whatever we create, will be moved to the new land. and so there will be maybe a small expense in that, in addition to the purchase of the land. And we'll put everything together in one place, so it'll be kind of like a compound. We'll consolidate the school, the orphanage, the community center, the agricultural businesses, all to one piece of land, so everything's nearby each other, everything's convenient to reach. It stops our rent expenses. We'll no longer have to pay rent, and it also makes the community center uh, free from any changes that the landowner may have in their mind. Now, of these 5 phases, everything is going to happen based upon completing one phase successfully, getting one phase working well enough before we're ready to move on to the next phase. So we'll take this step by step, and as things go smoothly, as we're running things well, we should be able to get more support from interested people around the world to say, okay, they got their phase one, okay, they got their phase two, they got these things completed, okay, and it looks like we're on a good trend, and things are going well. So let's go ahead and raise the money for the next phase. So we're just raising the money step by step. And we're proving the process. This is a pilot project, and so it's working in phases. And once we are done with phase 5, then some of us will move on to another location nearby and create the same community center there with the same phases, while checking back at the beginning every day, later on a couple times a week, until the initial community center in Ziru, Uganda is stable, can run by itself, has trained staff that can handle all the things that will come up. And we will also train new staff at the new location uh, so that they can be independent. And then we will replicate this process. This is the idea.